Keeping up with my approach of only investing in companies that have a true future and appeal. We'll do just that in this video. I've been covering Sofi for a while now, and you all must know or have seen my previous videos where I've given you my bullish thesis on Sofi. But today we are sharing a report that will show you the comparison between the fintech and also what two companies are poised to have a solid 2022. One of them is Sofi, which we will cover in detail, and the second one is also one of my favorite. So let's get started with the research, and the credit goes to Bloomberg for putting together an amazing comparison on the use cases and the adoption, but the views and thoughts are my own. So first, let me set a little groundwork for this video. We are entering a bear market, and it all started right under our nose. Slower consumer spending, rising inflation, rising interest rates, Omicron, travel restrictions, this was all bad news for the economy. But we are talking about fintechs in this video, so this was especially a bad news for the card networks. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, they all had a bad end of 2021. Now we top it off with a report that crypto and stock trading were also down, so Robinhood and Coinbase are also in trouble. But my research that I shared in a video showed that Coin will have a great Q4, which we have seen it. It does not matter anymore for the earnings because what matters is the future outlook. Look what happened with Netflix. Netflix had a great in terms of numbers. They actually broke all the records or all the expectations, but the future outlook is what tanked Netflix. No one knows a thing these days. No one had an idea. Now, we had some massive revenues from these companies in the second half of 2020, as we all know, and also the first quarter of 2021, which was groundbreaking for many companies, where companies like PayPal, Square, they all had record-breaking numbers. But they are also seeing the pullback because folks just don't have that kind of free money. So now let's talk about Sofi, and the second company which I'm talking about is Affirm. These two companies offer loans in different ways. Of course, they're dealing with credit default as the consumers are low in cash, and now interest rates are going up. This is all going to get very interesting. So let me share a chart that will paint the picture very clearly, and courtesy goes to Bloomberg. So right here, as you can see, we have a chart here where they have three metrics on the chart plotted over here. The first one is a TSA checkout that basically measures the travel. The white one that you see is the travel right here. Then the yellow one is the Bitcoin price right here, as you can see. And then the green one is the BANA network and the processor pair stock. That means people, those who are processing payments, that's their stock, or the green line is for them. So pay attention to what's going on. As we had in the beginning of 2020, everything just tanked. This is when the pandemic was in full force right here. And then after that, we had a recovery in the middle of 2020. And then after that, we were going fine. And then in 2021, we were hit by the Delta variant, and then the travel came down. Then after that, if you can see, the travel went up as well in the beginning or towards the end of 2021. And then Omicron news came, and then everything went down again, including the Bitcoin price right here, if you can see. And also the payment processor network, or the Fintechs, also went down big time, reaching all-time highs in the beginning of 2021. This was really a peak time for everything. All the stocks were doing really good at this time, and you can see that all the payment processor, this includes everybody, by the way. This includes the people, those who are in trading. This includes the people, those who are in fintech or payment processing. So you can see that we had a solid, I would say, run all the way from end of 2020, and then going into June, July of 2021, everything was looking good. Since then, it has started to come down right here. Okay, so with all the bad news, how can we see companies like Sofi do in 2022? Well, the good news that even though the going is going to get tough, the shift to digital money will continue and will be the only way forward. The global use of cash has fallen to 20% from 30%. Digital payments have entered into industries like healthcare, education, housing, transit, and government, which is all very new for them. So they're getting bigger than just paying for a cup of coffee. Let's take a look at the second picture right here. So this is the image that I have shared in the past with you, and you can see the use of cash is bright yellow right here in 2019 was about 30%. Then the use of cash in 2020 right here went down to 21%. They are estimating the cash use in 2024 is going to go down all the way to about 12% right here. So you see the decline of use of cash. On the other hand, the use of e-wallets is going to go up drastically as well. In 2019, the use of e-wallets was around 20% right here. Then in 2020, it went up to 26%, and by 2024, we are estimating close to about 35% the use of wallet. And this is, of course, worldwide. If you can branch it out into different categories, you can see that in North America right here, we are still in the infancy. But look what's going on in Asia. Asia is really doing good in terms of how people are taking e-wallet or accepting e-wallets. So which is amazing and very good news for the world economy in terms of these digital payment processors and also the digital fintechs. Now I'm sharing next is the real eye-opener. Now we know we cannot be in all the stocks, but this next chart will give you a snapshot of all the fintechs. Take a look over here. So this is year to date, this year 2022 right here, and this is 2021. And how they have divided this is that this is online payments. This is actually card network right here, which is Visa and MasterCard. This is online payment right here. It's not very clear, but I will try to break it down. And this is back-end processing, the processing of all the fintech payments. And then this is consumer financials, and this is all the indexes that measures everything. So pay attention. In 2021, we had very few winners, even though the stock market was doing good, but in this sector, we had very few winners. One of them was a firm which was up almost over 100%. Then the next one was Sofi, that you can see right here, blue is Sofi, which was a winner. And of course, MasterCard was right 1 to 2%, not a big deal at all. And then we had Coinbase, which was also in positive. Hood was still negative, Western Union was still negative in 2021. Move over to 2022 now, and you can see all the gainers that we had in 2021, they are the biggest loser right now in 2022 up until now. You can see Affirm almost down to 25% or even more now. And then also you can see the Western Union, which was of course a loser in 2021, is gaining traction. Look at MasterCard. MasterCard is also gaining traction. Right here is MasterCard. Visa is still struggling, but MasterCard is doing good. Western Union is doing good. And all the payment processor or the back-end payment processor, they all are doing good. Because again, the use of fintechs and use of cash is there. It's the individual stocks that are getting hit more. I mean, look at Hood. Hood had a bad 2021 and they had even worse 2022 so far. So now we can see that Affirm and Sofi are the biggest losers in 2022. Now, if you compare the category right here, and if you compare it, that they were the winners last year. Now, I know you are here because of Sofi, but I'm going to give you some bonus and actually give you 4 names which, as per Bloomberg, will outperform 2021, and I'm sharing directly this from Bloomberg. So let's take a read of what they reported. Within our fintech coverage, only Visa and PayPal are expected to grow as fast or faster in 2022 than 2021. Let's take a look at Visa and PayPal for a second in 2022. So Visa was right here and PayPal was right here. So they are saying that they are expected to grow better than 2021. Both in 2021 were losers. They didn't gain much. Right here, PayPal was also in negative and Visa was also in negative. So when they say that they will do better in 2022, all they are meaning is that we can just go and fill this gap. It's not going to happen that they will kind of come up here at the end of 2022. This is where we are. I mean, from what we have seen in the past few months, this is where we are, where people are saying that even though they will have a good year, doesn't mean that they will grow by 100% or 50%. No, they are saying that they might cover their losses that they had last year, this year. Like this year, look, PayPal. Last year, PayPal had a worst year. This year, not so much. Visa is struggling right here. Visa is close to almost 2% negative. Last year was almost zero, nothing, no gain, no losses. But you can see over here, they're saying that it's going to cover and it's going to come close. Now, the fastest anticipated growth in a group are Affirm and Sofi with a mid 40% gain, which is of course a very good news for us. Though Sofi appears to have a greater potential for positive catalysts, particularly by securing the banking license and realizing attractive bank in a rising interest rate environment, which is of course a very good news. With a flattish growth forecast, Coinbase could outpace consensus revenue most, assuming a crypto winter isn't at hand and coming derivatives trading and also NFT market generates strong volume. So they're saying that Sofi and Affirm will be big winners in 2022, almost 40%, which is of course amazing gain. I would take it, absolutely. And then they're saying Visa and PayPal on the more older fintechs will do well in 2022. Coinbase could outperform, of course, given the NFT or the new derivative platform that they're launching. There is no guarantee of what's said here. As my previous video have mentioned, nobody has a clue. Everybody is playing a guessing game. They're looking at numbers, they're looking at chart, and then they're giving their or sharing their thoughts. So take it for what it's worth. I'm not buying anything. I'm not touching anything right now until we get a clear picture of where the market is headed. So this is clear that the pain we are seeing is going to lift up and we will get out of this tunnel. But when is the real question, which no one has an answer to. I'm waiting for the Fed meeting on January 26th to decide what I want to do. But until then, as I said, I'm on the sidelines and won't even bother trading any options, etc., even as a day trade, because how much is your time worth is something you should ask yourself. I ask that question all the time, and that is why sometimes you won't see a video from me. I hope I was able to provide you some value, and if you like the video, then consider subscribing and hit the like button, and also consider joining our Discord and Patreon, where where I will be sending alerts when I will be selling few things to buy some quality names. A pleasure to share all of this with you. Until next time, you all have a sparkling day.